Well, welcome back to my channel, Survive and Thrive. And for any newcomers, definitely make sure to subscribe and like this video, especially once you've had a chance to watch the whole video and see what kind of value you can get out of it. But I cover a lot of different topics related to investing with stocks, cryptocurrency, and financial strategies in general. And for those who have already been subscribers, thanks for your patronage, and I look forward to this community really helping me to build my outreach and getting to 1,000 subscribers and those 4,000 watch hours. So today I wanted to talk about a tech stock, one that I do have a position in, and am looking here in the near and long-term potential for this company. And it's an ad revenue service. All of you know this service. Facebook, ticker symbol FB. Going right into this first article, Investor Place, there's no limit to Facebook's growth potential. Most think that this is just a service or collection of services. Facebook is the world's free communication system. Facebook does everything AT&T once promised to do, and it does it all for free. What's more, Facebook has done more to open the world and bring new people to the global economy than any company ever. That's a very big statement, and when I originally started to see Facebook and had the opportunity to invest, I didn't think that they would be around today, to be honest. But the more that I continue to watch how their company grows and how they've branched out, I do see some great potential for any investors out there, and the long-term growth, I think, could be substantial. Rather than celebrate this success, intellectuals seem intent on destroying it. Otherwise, the company would be worth even more. Now, as of the writing of this article, the march to $1 trillion, they wrote in January that it was time to buy Facebook stock. Since then, Facebook is up 35.5%, quadrupling the gain of the average NASDAQ stock. At $352 per share, down from its intraday high of $355, it's worth $987 billion. That's about 10 times this year's expected $94 billion in revenue, but just 30 times earnings. By way of comparison, Microsoft, worth $2.04 trillion, sells for 37 times earnings. Facebook is worth the price because it brings about 1/3 of its revenue to the net income line. It continues to grow at 18% per year at scale. At the end of March, it had nearly $65 billion of cash and short-term investments in the bank. The secret sauce, its capital investment, that's Facebook's secret sauce. No company is doing as many different things to bring the world together as Facebook. They now have 15 data centers, 10 in the US, 4 in Europe, and 1 in Singapore. It owns its own network of fiber cables and sells them as a middle mile to other companies. It's building a fiber cable around Africa, and furthermore, it recently announced 2 new cables between North America and Singapore. They also have open source projects open to all. Other companies can do exactly what Facebook is doing. AT&T can copy Facebook, and they don't have to reinvent anything. The bottom line on Facebook stock, the only threat to Facebook's growth is government. Lobbyists were shocked by a recent antitrust decision that went Facebook's way. They now want a digital regulatory agency to rein it in. Facebook's purchase of a startup called Customer, which makes customer service tools, is still being held up. Facebook isn't software so much as it is hardware and networking. Its software lets it offer communication to the world free, all paid for with cash. It's capital spending, not some nefarious plot that made Facebook a trillionaire. And I do know of other ways that they're reaching out. You know, you do see Facebook Marketplace. That's another opportunity for them to branch out and engage users and have them use the Facebook service. Also, as many of you are aware, there's Oculus that they own for the VR headsets. That's been around for some time and continuing to develop, and I think will honestly be the future for them as far as bringing in much bigger revenue and building out the different ventures that they're involved with. Another article here in Investors Business Daily, Facebook stock a buy. Facebook surges to record high ahead of huge week. The Facebook stock gapped up to a record high in early Friday stock market action, regaining a $1 trillion valuation with an assist from strong Snap earnings. Expectations already are high for Facebook's Q2 earnings report due after the close on Wednesday. And that's not the only big news that will hit within the next week. The Federal Trade Commission has until July 28th to refile its antitrust suit against Facebook after a federal judge tossed the complaint last month. So, is now a good time to buy Facebook stock? Looking at the Facebook stock bull case, the big picture is that Facebook advertisers are using the social media site to connect with prospective customers like never before. The group of advertisers has grown to more than 10 million businesses from more than 8 million when the pandemic started. The April 28th first quarter earnings report showed revenue surging 48% to $28.1 billion, fueled by a 30% jump in ad prices. The price increase came even as the number of ad impressions served across Facebook properties grew 12%. In the bull case, more and more businesses gravitate to Facebook, putting more of their ad dollars to work on its property that deliver an industry-leading return on investment. Shops is Facebook's big effort to bring e-commerce purchases in-house instead of just facilitating user-advertiser connections that result in off-site purchases, which is what I was referring to earlier with Facebook Marketplace. Businesses can set up a single shop for customers to access on Facebook, Instagram, and now WhatsApp. So you can really see how they're continuing to build their company and get involved with other ventures and really branch out what they are invested in. And I just see that there's more upward mobility for them, and they will continue to find these opportunities to scale and build and become a multi-trillion-dollar company. Bringing the merchant transaction onto the platform removes the need for off-platform tracking, wrote Morgan Stanley analyst Brian Nowak. That lowers the risk of privacy-related changes and regulations that impede tracking of user activity outside of Facebook properties. The not as bullish case, stock bears are a rarity among analysts, but the less bullish case centers on the threat of regulation both at home and abroad, which I do honestly think that it will be a challenge here, and I will be looking at that as opportunities to buy the dip when I see weakness. But I think at the end of the day, they will get through this, and the regulators will finally become aligned with what Facebook is doing, and the company will continue to have substantial growth. Facebook stock analysis after the court ruling against the FTC came down on June 28th. Facebook stock took off, surging 4.2% to a record close high of $355.64. Still, the spark from the court ruling against the FTC propelled Facebook stock out of reach for new buys, more than 10% above its 50-day moving average. So, like with the stock market in general, it's very volatile and emotional based. So anytime that there's bad news, you can expect that, stocks and companies' share price will go down, even if it's just temporarily. So like I said, I will be watching for that as we come to the end of this month. And if there is any bad news and opportunities for me to jump in when the price per share drops, then I will definitely be doing that to build out and fill my position so that I can get it at a decent dollar cost basis, because I do plan to hold on to this for at least the next 4 to 5 years. And just to take a quick look at some potentials here for the 2025 stock prediction. On this article here, Seeking Alpha, Facebook stock forecast for 2025. Based on Facebook's expected growth, they believe that there's considerable upside for shares over the next 4 years. If Facebook hits EPS of $13.10 earnings per share this year and grows its EPS by 14% a year through 2025, which is significantly less than the past growth rate, and this is actually a very conservative estimate, then Facebook's EPS in 2025 would be $22.10. Facebook currently trades at 25x earnings, which is not a very high multiple, but nevertheless assume that there will be some multiple contraction over the next 4 years in order to be conservative. If Facebook trades at 22x its EPS in 2025, which would be significantly less than the long-term median earnings multiple, then we get to a share price of $486 in 2025. Currently, Facebook's trading at just around $370 per share. So 2025, 486, even if we round that up to 490, I think that's very ultra conservative. But as this article states, you know, that's kind of playing the pessimistic route. And so now let's take a look at a more optimistic prediction. And you can see here in this chart, year end for this year, $522, 2022, $655, 2023, $764, and then you get to 2025 and we're at over $1,000 per share. Now, I personally would be very happy if we get to that point. Do I think we're going to get that high? Yet to be seen. Is it possible? I think yes. I also am in some ways a realist, so I'm going to say that we're probably going to be in the $600 to $700 range by 2025 per share. But even based on that, it's a very big jump from where we are at currently. And so, like I said, I think now really is the time, if you're a long-term investor and you want to build some decent gains off this particular company and investment. And I would love to definitely hear others' thoughts out there, if they are invested in Facebook, or if there are other tech stocks out there like this that you think have better potential or a higher growth opportunity. And as always, if you've gotten value out of this video, please help me out, help out the community, get my name out there, get these videos out there, help others be able to share in this information and grow your own wealth. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. The subscribe button is huge for me right now because I'm just starting out. I really want to build a strong community around me of like-minded people. And so go check out my other videos. And if you like what I covered here, then definitely make sure that you're turning on that bell so that you're notified as new content is uploaded. I'm trying to hit at least 1 to 2 videos per week. And yeah, that's all I had for today. Leave any comments below on thoughts that you're having. If there's other companies out there that you want me to cover, please also give me a heads up on that. And until next time, don't just survive, thrive!